try to throw it on the ground though. He's that kind of guy. Did you ever solve your beam problem?
Yeah, and it's on the way to get fixed. Apparently the controller board.
Okay, we
moves
are
the
live.
relays out, did voltage
Let's see
tests
what's
on the
happening
thing.
here.
See who else is here.
I called them up and they said, yeah, the relay board.
Participants, we're early.
Send us $120.
Is that all?
Yeah.
It's a bargain.
Oh, yeah. Twice the price.
Hey,
Check, I think we're all good there.
Anyway, so it's.
Erez is gonna
You
join.
guys got all them great big bucks to spend.
Let's see, quartets.
Hey, Erez.
They're trickling in.
STRS gave me 2% raise this year, so I'm in tall clover.
Cool.
Hey, Erez, can you hear us okay?
But Calper's got.
He's got his mic turned off,
Okay, he hears us fine.
but he gave us a thumbs up.
Yes, I do hear you. Good evening.
Okay, good. And now we've got Erez in the computer.
All right, so we need to get him here. We go through this what did we do last month?
Let's see, what did we do last month?
I do that.
Display
Keep
out.
talking, Yes.
Let's see if that
Is
works.
Well, that won't be a problem.
you were late 5
Not
minutes.
you, him.
Erez, give us a sound check.
Sound check, come on.
CQ, 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 KM6 TVV.
All right, good man.
See, we're getting better each week.
Hey, we did
each
something
month.
good though.
I like each
You know, my wife said that's the opposite.
That's good.
All right, Erez, thank you for
She's
that.
talking about you, not the club.
You know, she repeated my mother. My mother used to say to me, Phil, you're the one person I could take anywhere and be ashamed of.
I like that.
You know, that's a runner for you.
Blessing.
All right, we got more
Like you
operators
said,
here. Hang
So we'll
on.
give it a few more minutes here.
Forgotten everything I've learned.
See if we can snag a few more.
I am now.
Okay, we've got two
fixing
more.
Sprinkler pipe.
Right.
Fixing, all the kinds of stuff I really don't want to do.
Hi, Steve.
There's Steve, there's the
I
program
just
guy.
go to the list and do one.
Right,
And life is
Rob
blessed.
and Manuel.
That's a good start.
Manuel,
Yep.
that's a new one.
There's Steve.
How are things
I almost always do the things my wife wants me to do.
How are things with you? Still ticking, I assume?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you a cyclist?
Well,
It's not a hard question.
well, I don't know, there's some implications. I get on a bike and I pedal.
Oh,
If
that's-
that doesn't fall down.
that does it.
Yeah. No, I used to be, I did complete a 40, according to the GPS, a 41.5 mile
Please.
2 weeks ago. Hey!
Hey.
Yeah, I was really happy with it. Although,
Hello, John, can you hear me?
Hold on.
Yes, we can.
oh, that's the story.
Oh, good. Just testing my mic here. Hi, Rob.
Steve, thanks.
Hi there, Steve.
Simpler now, so.
Hey,
And we got
I'm
Rob.
gonna test.
Everybody's audio's working so far.
yeah, hey Dave, do you have a better speaker than that thing?
Well, we're using the speaker on the TV.
On the
I
TV.
know,
yeah.
you had a better one a couple meetings ago, you had a pretty good one on it, I
Okay.
thought.
Well, everybody's got their opinion.
I think you got wax in your ears, Chris.
You know,
Not anymore, come out yesterday.
You probably liked it better when it was on the computer because it's closer to you.
Oh, maybe you're right.
but I
Hey,
I don't
John.
Hey, I got the wax on my ears yesterday, David, I really did.
Go ahead,
I-
Steve.
Are you going to enable me to share screen? Because I've got a PowerPoint for my thing later.
Let's see here. If we
We
can-
certainly intend to.
Let's see if it lets us.
Let's see how David does with that.
Multiple
Yeah.
participants can share.
Because I wanted to test mine, make sure that I haven't done a PowerPoint in years and years.
Go
So
ahead and do a test.
okay, I'm going to share my screen. So is my screen shared right now?
Not
Oh
yet.
wait,
There
let's
you-
try this.
There it is.
Oh, so you see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We see your Zoom screen. I don't know if that's what you're.
Hey, I don't see a thing.
Do you see a desktop now? It says
Yeah.
K-Love.
K-Love, yeah, we see that. Okay.
Oh, okay, great. And
So that means your PowerPoint is working, right?
yep, you betcha. And I'm just gonna bring this up while I got it up here. And God, I haven't done a PowerPoint in 10 or 15 years or something like that. But it's the easiest way to load pictures up.
No, it looks good. You're gonna do good.
Okay, great. I'm good then. So I
Now,
will,
does everybody else see it?
yeah.
You should, you see it, they should.
Someone
Okay.
has taken over my computer.
Rob, did you see it? What do you see on the screen, Rob?
Someone's taken over my computer.
So, I'm
All
gonna
right,
stop.
I see it.
There we go. And I'm gonna get off here in a second. However I do that.
Okay,
We're
so
back to
everybody
normal
see,
now.
everybody saw Steve there?
Yeah.
Okay,
Not
great.
us, talking about
Oh,
Ben.
my
Yep.
God.
Yeah, we're back to normal, so.
Oh, good. Okay. Because
Well,
I'm
good.
just seeing me right now and not the rest of the meeting. So what am I doing then? Or just.
Got to
see
go to
here.
gallery view
Oh, okay, gallery view. Okay.
on the upper right-hand corner.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Appreciate it.
Okay, how do we go back to putting us, okay, there we
Yeah,
go.
we're all good now.
There we are.
Okay, great.
Okay. So we were just meeting here, trying to figure out the ins and outs of the corporation to get that going and to get the bank account going. We made some progress. We have a tax ID number, but not able to get a bank account until we get filed with the state. So we're working on that. And Bob, you want to tell us what you're doing?
Sitting in a chair.
I don't mean that. I mean the.
Yeah,
I'm working to get the bug roundup going. So I've sent out some notifications to social media, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook. I've sent out some emails, made contact to a number of email lists. I've been working with Dave, and I have a list of previous attendees, and I'm off of work tomorrow, so I plan on spending a couple of hours sending out individual or mass invitations to people who've participated before, as well as people in the club. I'm going to be reaching out pretty soon to put up the schedule for people to operate as W6SFM
Okay.
during the bug roundup.
And you have the chat room
Yep,
ready to go?
Dave and I worked out the chat room. We tested it tonight here before the meeting.
all right,
Looking
Very
good.
The spotting aid.
good.
And what do we have on Facebook then?
Well, I tried posting there. I'm a little bit unclear what's getting saved on the Facebook page. Lynette reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to be an admin of the page, and I said, well, sure, why not? And she said she'd make me an admin and then she'd remove herself, but nothing's changed on the page. So I've got some time off
So you're
tomorrow,
working on
and
that.
I'm gonna get in touch with her and maybe reconnect and see. Because right now there are a lot of events that are pinned on our Facebook page, and anything that's not pinned is appearing far, far below it. So current postings aren't showing up.
You know, she's really beautiful about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And she's working with us pretty good,
Yes,
considering
yes,
what other things she has on her mind,
exactly.
you know, obviously. Okay, good. So we got Facebook going, we got bug roundup, which is the most important thing. We have the most urgent thing as far as what's coming up next is bug roundup. Then there's field day, and I've got a field day site. It's about 10 minutes from here. It's a church on San Juan. So people who go to the River City can also visit ours if they want to. It's about 4 miles away, something like that. Just the other end of Sunset. Is that Sunset or Winding Way that VFW is next to?
The VFW is at Phoenix Field Park.
Yeah, but I mean, what's it closer to?
You go straight down Sunset.
So it's closer to Sunset than it is Winding Way.
Yeah.
Sunset.
And
Gate.
Sunset's an easier road, any straighter road anyway. When you get to that end of Winding Way, you know why they name it Winding Way, as
Yes.
opposed to this end of it, yeah. Okay, so yeah, anybody that wants to, you know, come, typically people come for an hour or two anyway, so they can, some people can come to both if they choose to. We're gonna do it from 11 to 11 this time, we're not gonna stay all night. Gonna wrap it up at 11.
I mean, we're home by 2.
So Saturday.
Get home by 2, yeah, Saturday 11.
11 PM.
Yeah, we're gonna go 12 hours.
So all I've seen, so I've driven past that place a number of times.
Mhm.
I've seen a big parking lot and a building.
Yeah.
What,
It's the back parking lot.
okay,
If you go into the parking lot
yeah,
and then you go all the way to the back, that's where we'll be.
okay.
So it's good access, easy access.
We will be setting up on asphalt as well?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you guys say you had 2 pop-ups reserved?
Yeah, I'll get 2 pop-ups from the church and a couple of tables. But I could get more tables, probably nobody'd notice. I got keys to the place. So we don't have a restroom problem. So that's what's going on for field day. What other business do we have? I think that's about all that's,
You want the minute from last?
yeah, get the minutes from last meeting, yes. Meetings from
Well,
last
we
minute or
met-
whatever.
Yeah, we met here at John WB6UBK on April 7th. And we had, let's see, I think we had 17 members in attendance, 9 here and 8 on Zoom. We also had elections last month. And what's going on here? This thing's all screwed up. Well, I'll give you the bogus story first. The bogus story winner was Mike, K6LQ. And there were 4.
Hey, Mike.
Yay, Mike.
We have a celebrity, we have a celebrity on board with us, in person, in the flesh.
Everywhere.
And those of you that are only on Zoom, you don't get that privilege, but what can I say?
Yeah.
That's the benefits of
Stand
coming to
up,
the
Mike,
live
take a
one.
bow.
I'll sign autographs later.
Yeah,
So,
hopefully we get a discount.
Did you bring your checkbook?
and ballot that trophy well. Anyway,
Yes.
Bob, N6PGQ, gave a story about some guy at AI6U who was having an RFI problem with his neighbor. And K6LQ, who won the beautiful trophy, gave his story on strange phenomena in newspaper story. Very strange indeed. Anyway, it's better than what I'm telling you for sure. WB6UBK gave a little story about the, what did he call it, the EHR antenna. And Chris, AI6U, gave a bogus story about the S10S meters coming to your new radio. What else? Now I don't have to the minutes here. Where did they go? Just a second here. Oh, you know what's wrong? I'm looking at the wrong month. Okay, that's the meeting notes. Okay, Bill.
No, wait a minute, that was what month then?
April. I was gonna look at March, but we weren't, I forgot about, I got all screwed up here, so disregard. Okay, KD6RM, Phil, talked about the open ring radiator antenna.
Now we're talking about March
We're
now.
talking about April still.
April.
April still.
I'll get to March.
That's
in a
right,
minute.
that's right. We had the Bose
Yeah, I screwed it
contest
up,
and then,
sorry. And then K6AM David
Okay.
talked about the adventure mini paddle for SOTA. And that was April, excuse me. Now March, that we didn't talk about last time, if I can go find it somewhere. Somewhere around here. Oh, there we go. Okay, we had elections in March. And first of all, we had 17 members in attendance. Did I say that last time? No. Let me correct myself. We had 11 members last month. 11 members for last month, 17 members in March. There we go. I'm all straight now. All right. We did have elections for 2020. And we had John, WB6UBK, who was the acting president. He was nominated by Phil, K6RM. And he was second by Katie Miller, KJ6YCP. Our vice president David, he nominated himself, K6CIM, and he was second by Phil, K6RM. The acting secretary, Chris, AI6U, he was nominated to be secretary permanently by Phil, KD6RM.
No, wait a minute.
Yeah, and he was
You're,
second.
you're forever secretary. That was
Oh,
the
I
term
know, they Mike, keep telling us.
last year.
No, not with the new bylaws.
Yeah, we got new bylaws now. Anyway, he was looking by Dennis.
I think we're gonna take out the part that says that you must be,
You gotta
braille
go braille.
fluent.
Yeah, that's gonna scratch that out of there. All right.
There's
he
a
was looking
campaign
by,
to remove
Katie.
that from the bylaws, we'll see how that works out.
There we go.
We're gonna chisel them in with stone.
Right. Anyway, he was seconded by KG6ZI, Dennis. All right, acting treasurer, Phil, KG6RM was nominated by Bob. That's right, Bob. And 6PGQ, and he was seconded by Bob KA9MBP. Okay, and what else can I tell you here? Some other items we discussed were corporate status and the search for a new venue. And what else did we do? Oh, Dennis volunteered to look into the 503C matter, and we've been talking about that. And let's see, that was it. So that's March meeting. Now I think we're all caught up now.
All right,
Sorry for the long-winded ramble.
okay. Anybody from the Zoom have anything?
Put them to sleep.
Don't all speak at once, it gets confusing.
Just an appreciation of last last month's antenna presentation. I thought that was excellent. The portable antennas and the results of it and everything else. That was quite an interesting meeting or presentation.
You mean the EHR?
Yeah.
No, that
Yeah.
was a bogus story.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah. No, the real
It's actually a better antenna, but unfortunately it's fictional.
Yeah.
I mean, think of it, you know? Be able to go simplex all the way to Japan.
Right.
If you set that up just right, so it goes with the curvature of the Earth.
Right.
Just like the flat Earth people do it. That's the way they do it.
It's a very bad crowd.
If Mike K6LQ can forward to me his bogus story, we'll put it up on the page for the website as we do for the winning bogus story.
Yes, a tradition. Mm-hmm.
Did I get permission for that? Okay.
Sorry, buddy, no copyright.
So it's an annual, the winner always gets on the website.
Okay.
Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah, you won the prize. He did, yeah. The bogus story prize. Can't wait to see. At our age, it goes pretty quick. So before long, we'll see what you.
Maybe we should call it the Vibraplex Prize. It's got a better ring to it.
Pellets, are those like?
It rolls off the tongue better.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily, no, it's not limited to bugs though.
Oh,
Oh,
how about a can of Raid?
No, we don't want a can of raid.
Vibraplex probably is
raid trophy.
copyrighted.
Yeah, that's
Or is
copyrighted.
bogus, isn't it?
Bogus story, isn't it? Well, it might be, I don't know. Hope not. Okay, so with that, I think we will go into show and tell time.
Yay.
Anybody have any show and tell?
we have one up on the table there.
Just happens to have his, why don't you tell us about it? I hooked it up to an antenna so you can actually hear it work.
All right, let me tell you about that thing. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I don't think he has stock in the company, but he may.
That little receiver
That's
is
okay.
dual
Can I
conversion.
put it at the camera?
It's got dual
Yeah, good
VFOs.
idea.
Okay, so it's a receiver only?
No, it's transmitter.
Okay, so we're talking
It has a
about-
built-in keyer. It auto selects,
Let's
it's
see, a
single
little higher.
sideband and CW. The receiver covers from 500 kilohertz to 30 megahertz. Dual conversion with the first IF at 45 megahertz.
Up
There's
conversion
a
in.
Very good. You look like you've done that
8-pole,
before.
12 megahertz second IF.
You're not related to
Push
Vernal
pull
Wire or
power
anything?
amplifier using IFR 510s. microvolt sensitivity. Pretty darn good.
0.2, yeah.
It's got RIT and as a built-in keyer. And of course, liquid crystal display. There's 2 VFOs.
It's a receiver, right?
Transceiver.
It's a transceiver.
Transceiver, oh, better yet.
And it is $209 delivered to the U.S.
Wow.
Built?
And how much
Built.
power? is it?
Well, you have to stick it in the box. It takes you, I don't know, 30 minutes to put this.
You have to put it in the case.
So you
Turn
said,
it on.
you said the receiver was AM capable as well?
Yeah, you can listen to AM broadcast band on it.
So,
Who provides the kit?
Who provides what?
Who provides it?
Oh, it's
Oh, it has an old school, power switch. I like that.
It's the
Hey,
bit.
all right.
Turn the knob clockwise and it comes on. That's a good thing.
Oh, hey, you don't see that anymore. Not good.
Can you guys on Zoom hear it?
Oh, sounds good.
Okay.
Does it have any filters in it? Probably does.
Yes, it does.
Not too-
How to use it, I don't know. I only see 2 knobs here. Phil, what's going on?
Well, I spent about 3 minutes playing with it.
Oh, so okay, you're not real
exactly
familiar either.
authority.
Okay.
Is that a touch screen though?
Touch screen.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was wondering how to change it.
Oh, that put me out of it. Now, look at
So we
that.
got a touch screen.
So,
It's not that hard to power.
no,
10 watts?
10 minutes over.
10 watts output.
Yep.
Internal battery?
Oh, it's on a little cell I got sitting on the table. It's a pretty cheap, cute,
QRP.
what is it?
I would call it
KX2.
inexpensive. It's not really. Looks pretty good.
KX2 or KX3, $209.
What's this thing called?
Micro BitX.
Yeah, I've heard.
Cheaper than a 7300.
Michael?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
What's the
Of course,
last
you can
word?
put an amplifier on it, get a couple 807s or 6146s, and you
Yeah.
got a real radio.
Right.
Glows in the dark even.
I want some of them Mercury vapor rectum fryers.
866, right? No, 866.
What band is that, John?
That is,
40 meters.
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I
you
see how it
maybe-
works.
Could
No,
you
I don't.
maybe paste the link on where to get it into the chat?
Now I don't know what I did.
It's a company called HF Signals. If you check them out on the internet, you'll find it. Or if you type, or if you just write the letters micro, you know, the UBITX, you'll come across them too. I think it took about 7 days from the day I ordered it till it arrived.
Wow, that's not bad at
pretty
all.
good.
Yeah.
That isn't the one
That's
from
not
Russia.
20 meters right now.
What is it? From where?
There's 40 meters.
Yeah.
It does come from India.
Oh.
Wow.
What are you gonna use it for?
Well, ever go traveling, throw one of my little vertical open ring antennas in the car along with that thing, I think it'd be in pretty good shape.
So do you have the KX2 or 3 or something like that?
Here, let me show them the,
That's the niche that this is gonna fill for you.
see it while it's on.
I couldn't resist. $209.
Yeah,
Little sucker works pretty well.
Wow.
not bad at all for,
It's just a little bit more than the tax.
not bad at all for 200 bucks. Is that with
Amazing.
shipping even too?
Includes shipping.
Wow.
DHL.
So it's a superhead double.
Double conversion.
Double
super
conversion, you said,
heterodyne,
yeah.
8-pole secondary IF crystal filter.
Oh, there you go.
45 megahertz.
So is it adjustable crystal filter?
Yeah.
No.
It's 800 megahertz. I mean 800 hertz.
Hurt.
800 cycles.
Oh, you can change, yeah, you,
Okay.
width?
the audio, CW tone you can adjust, yeah.
Oh, did it
What
audio
about the
filter?
camera?
Okay, but the passband filter is
It's
fixed.
2.4, 2.4. 2.4 kilohertz. Fixed.
2.4, okay, that's reasonable, yeah.
I brought a couple.
You can buy it from Gigaparts,
Really?
How much?
$209.99.
From Gigaparts.
Wow.
There you go.
There you go, man.
That's easier yet.
Plus tax and.
No tax.
It says free shipping.
Gigaparts to be taxed. Go ahead. Turns on like an old-fashioned radio.
Yeah.
Well, like a normal radio does.
That's working right there.
You
Yeah.
turn it clockwise and it comes on.
You can buy the bare board with all
That means
Does
you
it-
can
does it-
turn it on.
the minus.
Did it have QSK?
Yeah.
$130 or something.
Wow.
But the
But
enclosure.
why not get the enclosure? Man?
Oh, you ever build an enclosure? You'll
Well, I
want to
have-
spend the money.
I have a few and they look like it. I'll put it that way.
You don't need
They're
it.
not as elegant as yours,
Yeah, that's an amazing.
but they work.
That's an amazing deal.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
The only thing I wish it had was,
Does it have QSK?
Does it have QSK?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
think so, yeah.
let's try it.
I put the web page is in the chat if anybody wants to be there on Zoom.
No, thank you, Carol.
Says it does split VFO.
I don't even know which jack is the key jack.
Well, take a 10
Steve's
minutes.
talking about,
Oh, that is neat. Yeah, that's neat.
Horace Martin
Yeah.
today.
It's hard to
Okay.
beat.
You got one there too?
Well, I thought it'd be nice to have one here in the flesh.
Yeah,
in case
yeah.
we talk about it.
Good.
We'll fire that baby up.
Actually, try it out on the rig.
Right. Yeah, but like,
Why not?
sure.
What kind of plug does it
We're gonna have a
take?
show and
question.
tell, right?
Looks like a.
And 1/8, I assume.
It's one of those 3.5 millimeters, whatever they are.
Inch.
Is that the same thing?
No.
Yeah.
Just
I looked it up.
They're
It's close.
They're
designated
close.
But
not
call them
quite.
that. Call them 1/8 inch or. Yeah, I prefer 1/8 inch.
Inch and 1/8 inch.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they're talking about the same thing.
Haven't heard that one.
Yeah.
Same thing as the earbuds on.
Yeah. It's all relative.
That's all I know.
You need a cord for it?
Oh, I wasn't gonna, I mean, there's a.
You're not
So
gonna
you
there's a
wanna
fire
cord
fire
here
it
and
up?
Go ahead.
here. If you have an adapter, because
Well, what do
all
we
we got
need?
is,
Okay, we need. All right.
You need an 8.
If you guys could talk about something, and I'll go find one and come back.
Steve.
Well,
can you copy?
it's a great website. And I get a kick out of looking down at the CW mode with the fading sunspots. Many of our radio compadres are rediscovering the joys of primitive CW.
Puts
Right
us
up to the-
puts us in our place.
Where a good ear, a modest dipole, and 10 watts still gets a decent DX. That's great, but it really, really looks good on the circuits and everything else. Boy, my God, what a bargain.
Man, that's in your problem.
Is it from Russia?
No, India.
India, oh, okay.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
So I brought a key. It's a Vibroplex number 4, Blue Racer, number 89657 from 1923.
Great.
I like that.
So I understand you were going to be doing a little talk on Vibroplex.
Absolutely.
And Horace Martin. I actually was going to bring my Horace Martin, but I didn't. And then I also bought another key, which is kind of, I found it very interesting. It's a CMH World War II Navy key.
Mhm.
And it has a feature that I have not seen in many keys at all. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this.
Not very.
How well does it focus?
It does focus good, like a foot or two away. Yeah, it'll, right there.
Closer.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you see the little slit in the
familiar.
side?
Yep.
Yep.
And that's for the traditional bug wedge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that you don't see very many keys that actually has a separate
Right.
slot for that.
I've got a key right here that is a 50 amp contacts on it. It's a spark key from what company it is here. Well, it's Navy Yard, Boston, something. Man, I can't quite. Let's see. MACHY. I don't know what it is, but it's a spark key from probably about 1917 to 18 or something like that. But it's got 50 amp contacts. If you can see those contacts. So that'll handle most everything you'd ever want to key with that puppy.
Guess that's not good walking, is it?
Nothing like overkill.
Yeah, 50 amps. I thought 25 amps would be enough.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Rob's got one.
I can hook it to my wall.
Yeah, this is a this is a Marconi road map,
Hmm.
and it has the big screw-in contacts too.
Interesting.
And a friend of mine made me a couple of sets of contacts with sterling silver contacts. So it's pretty neat. I found it in an antique store up in Roseville. So
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't know what it was.
What year do you think that one is?
This is probably it's mentioned in one of the radio handbooks from probably about 1918, 1919.
Right.
And one of the descriptions said that this was the key that was provided on the wireless set that was portable for the press in World War I.
Wow.
And the things were mounted on a donkey, and they came out with a big, with a big accordion thing, and had legs to set, and then it had a big
Well, I guess
hand
we're just gonna have to try it.
crank thing. So I
Anybody
don't
have this on the internet?
Neat.
Yeah.
Hey, Phil, is there a manual on the internet we can?
Oh, there it is.
You got it?
You know, I've not, the only thing I downloaded on that thing was the tech specs, the assembly instructions, and the schematic.
Does it have a built-in keyer?
Yes.
Really? How do you put it in straight key mode?
I have no idea.
Read the manual.
You have to push a button.
And that looks like dot mode there.
I know there's a speaker input, a microphone input, or a speaker output.
The webpage says it does semi-break-in on CW.
There you go.
All right. How do you get to straight key mode since you got it there? So we can hook it to the bug. CW 12 words a minute, so the keyer is apparently already set up.
Let's choose your keyer from the setup menu.
It's got a nice sound to it.
It does.
There are even some folks doing rig mods and doing specialized firmware.
Oh, I'm sure. You know that was coming.
Yeah.
It's open source software on it too. You can change it all you want.
Where are you finding that stuff? Where are you finding that?
I just did a
Okay.
Google for BITX V6 manual, and I'm coming up with all sorts of. So KD8CEC created some special firmware and then has a manual that goes with it.
All right, so we need to get into straight key mode, which apparently
Bob's gonna have it
not happening right now.
momentarily.
Okay.
Download Rod's manual, but that's his.
People online,
It says in CW mode, you can use your microphone's PTT for transmitting a quick Morse code message.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have that set up on my Yasu.
Microphones, that's great.
In case you
Oh,
can't
it
hear
comes
me
with
on
a
sideband.
microphone, by the way.
Well, you hit CW to enable a CW mode on the setup menu.
How do you get to the setup menu? Press a button maybe? Ooh,
Touch me?
fast tune. Fast tune off. Okay.
It's probably the stylus. Probably the touchscreen stylus.
Well, I don't see a spot on there for it though. I just see the bands. Oh, TON and frequency. Oh, words per minute.
Oh, that's the key area.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sending the CW sending speed of the keyer, apparently.
800 hertz. Special.
Special, okay. Well,
I'll let you play with it. I should
Well,
have done that, I'm sure.
I think this is a case of read the manual.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But anyway,
For 209 bucks.
for 200
read the
bucks,
manual.
that's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
And like I say, a couple 807s and get yourself a real rig.
Any EHAM reviews from other guys or anything?
And it'll glow in the dark even.
I have no idea.
Sit on the Sherwood list.
You might need a 6AG7 driver though.
Yeah.
There's been a number of those things over the years, the BitX.
Yeah, I've heard of that, yeah.
So that's the name of the company.
Well,
I don't know,
that's
what do
the
you call
name
it?
of the original circuit design, is
Oh,
BitX.
okay.
Yeah.
So this is like,
The guy that's selling them is called HF Signals out of India.
so this is BitX
It's version 6.
version 6, okay.
So that
Did
box
you say
actually
HF
came
signals?
directly to you from India?
Yes.
Or is- So there's not a distributor here that has a stack?
Well, they were
of
just
them?
saying the
So they said
gigaparts,
Yeah, gigaparts.
Cool.
Somebody just said.
but I suspect the gigaparts.
The sideband,
India sent it to you.
the
About the same price.
sideband filter has 8 crystals in it.
Yeah, that's the
8 crystals?
second IF.
Oh, we're getting a condensed
Yeah.
8 full filter.
And there's a 45 megahertz roofing filter. That's the first conversion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
That's,
Yes.
up mixing there.
It's a pretty impressive little radio.
I'm surprised they can sell the parts for that price.
I hear you.
Really?
Let alone the board and put it all together, yeah.
Yeah, what
And
is
there's
Yeah, amazing.
Toroids in that thing, you won't believe it.
Mhm.
No auto tuner though.
Yeah.
And everything.
You don't get much for $209, do you?
Right.
How filled is the box? Is there space in the box?
For, you're talking about the enclosure?
Yeah.
For what, a tuner?
Whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of space.
I mean, it's really light, and it's a pretty good sized box.
There's about
compared
that
to-
much air at the top and about that much board at the bottom.
Wow, that would be, especially if you get a really wide tuner in there.
I like those Elecraft.
Yeah,
tuners
one of those
are
guys.
optional
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
pretty small.
You don't want to buy one of those though. I'm sure that'd be like,
Like 3 of those.
More than the radio.
Pronto.
be $800 for a tuner, yeah,
Yeah.
at least.
Well, that's pretty cool.
I'll look up UBITX.
All one word.
Yep.
I thought it was Chinese, but it's not.
Stop.
Good, I'm glad to hear that.
I'll do the same thing you did.
Yeah.
I do.
If all else fails.
Not much signal here.
Ton, I don't know what that is.
I think that's tone, and that's what we
Oh.
ended up getting.
Oh, continuous tone.
Yeah,
Okay,
CW.
set up for
There's where
we
you.
can continue with
words
waves.
per minute, so that has to be in keyer mode if it's words per minute.
HF signals.
Yes.
So
that's
what
the
happens if I
distributor.
turn
That's
it all the way
the
down
company
to
that's selling them.
1? That's probably
I couldn't believe how cheap that thing was. And it's good audio too.
It does sound pretty decent, yeah.
Sounds better than kids.
If anyone survived field day. Yeah. You never know, though.
Oh, here's the operations manual.
Yeah, good circuit descriptions on the website there.
Yeah. Pretty impressive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it says a setup menu for CW allows you to choose iambic A, iambic B, and straight.
Mhm.
Know how you access that. There's supposed to be a CW setup menu. Maybe if you tap CW or hold it in or something.
Mhm.
Try holding your finger on CW there. There you go.
And then maybe the encoder. Maybe use both simultaneously.
Apparently, you have to hold in the encoder for a long time.
A long time.
That would have
very
said a
technical.
long time.
Okay, slow.
Oh, there we go. CW Keir.
Did he find it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, he's getting there.
You know, it sounds like the bandwidth has gotten smaller too.
Well, if it is, I don't know. Didn't see the spec on it.
I wonder if. How about
Yeah, I
turning
tried
this?
both.
That doesn't. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there you
gotta
go.
turn it a ways. Okay.
Now push.
Huh. Iambic. Hand key right there. Hand key.
Ah.
Let's see what the other options are.
There you go. Now you got the button.
Hand key, iambic B, iambic A, hand key. Okay. Press
Cool.
tune to save.
All right. Let's.
It'll be all set up for you.
You know, in the old days, we'd find a broadcast station and park on that to tune up.
Right. Oh, yeah, just took a step.
Nobody else has ever done that, right?
Yeah.
Never.
Well, send the CQ, see what you get.
Well, I'd find a clear spot here, and
What antenna is it?
I have no idea.
it's an 80-meter
Part of
loop,
John's
tuned
farm.
to 40 meters. It's a 40-meter antenna. I have no idea what the bandwidth is
Meter
here.
loop, tuned to
It's not
40
very,
meters.
it's not very narrow, it's about 2.4.
Sounds like 2.4, yeah. Boy, it's real quiet over here. Pretty
Okay, this transmit, we don't have a tone. Right.
How do you get a side tone?
That must be on the menu too.
Yeah, that's right.
How'd you get that again?
Just push push that and hold it until you get the menu. There you go.
Long time, not long.
Set BFO, CW delay, CW keyer, touchscreen, exit. Set frequency. I wonder what. Set BFO, that wouldn't be it.
No.
CW display, delay.
Yeah. Should be a side tone or some other name. Moderator.
Does the manual tell us that? Side tone? Maybe it's like the old days, you gotta hook it up with a blocking diode and hook it to a code practice oscillator.
Yeah.
I got a vacuum tube one in there.
There you go.
Well, tell me what frequency you'll be on and I'll listen for you on my radio.
Oh, okay. Oh no.
What?
Nice.
You did something? Ow.
You break it?
I
Yeah.
like sideband.
Oh, you want the wideband, man. That's the ear. Woo. You meant to hit a filter, John, or something.
What frequency on? Oh.
7046.85.
Oh, okay.
Man. What filter you got now?
I have no idea. I don't even know how to use the
It got
filter.
wider, whatever you
Did
did.
you tap on the CW button?
They're all outside the window. How come there's sparks coming off the antenna?
I
No,
guess
that's
it's
power.
higher power than we thought. All right, 70,
Did you see
50.
the corona discharge at the end of the dipole?
Carol may be able to see it from her house.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Depends on fire.
Maybe. All right. No side tone though.
They don't give them the key, 3 keys.
Well, there was a bunch of CW stuff down there.
You're supposed to hit the tone button to set the side tone frequency.
Ah!
Hold button.
And then rotate.
Sounds like the Ukraine.
Say when.
Not a real good side wave, but it's not bad.
500 hertz.
And then probably press it. There you go, you should be set.
And then you got your CW mode, right?
Now, how do you get your filter
Yeah.
back?
I don't know. One thing at a time here.
Yeah, I know. Well, you can type
Go
it.
down a little bit
You
more.
can touch RIT too.
They'll turn off the red, yeah.
Kill lower sideband, see what happens.
I was never able to kill lower sideband. But
That's
maybe-
probably
turn it
what
off.
does CW.
Turn it back on.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Now just hit CW.
That was just it, so.
Is this
4600
like a urine
hertz.
chest or something?
What's that?
4600 hertz.
No wonder it's so bad.
What we're hearing.
Oh, yeah, he must have the IF shift
So
or
we make
something.
it transmit, but still no side tone.
Dictone, okay.
I can't believe we can't kill lower sideband.
Well, my Yaesu does that too.
That may be where it transmits to
It's-
CW.
It's a whole 18-hour discussion. Upper sideband versus lower sideband on CW.
I'm gonna go
And
back.
offset.
But that's for the receiver.
That's a KWM too.
In the old days, we just matched it 0 beat, and now they call it 0 beat when it's supposed to match the.
Match your
The
side
tone,
tone.
yeah, it's not.
So, that's
The
because
more I read about it, the more confused I get. Gave up years ago.
the receiver drops it by so many hertz.
Anyway,
That's
yeah.
what it is. It's not the transmit, it's the receiver.
Well, it depends on the rig.
Well, I'm talking about how they do it nowadays.
Okay.
They offset the receiver by, whatever it is, 500
Right.
hertz. So that
Right.
way,
But
when
anyway,
you zero, yeah.
so they call that lower sideband on CW or upper sideband. It's a receiver function,
Right.
is what it is on
Because
CW.
when we're talking the filter you're listening to it on, the upside or the other side. So,
Push the tune button. Push the tune button.
There you go.
But
God.
there's still no.
narrow now. Okay, good. Now we're in CW.
There's still no.
Now can we transmit?
Well,
No side tone.
no side tones. So
I'll have to play with it.
yeah, you're gonna have to play with it to
No.
actually get it
Anyway,
in
I
there.
thought you might get a kick out
Good,
of that.
cool.
But
Absolutely.
definitely worth $200, I would say.
Yeah.
So question, Mike, on your bug here. So in the day when that was produced and used, what kind of current was really running through it? To require it to be so
Spark gap, it could probably be a
Strong.
lot.
Was it spark gap or land telegraph?
Spark
Is
gap.
that on, which key you talking about?
this key here.
1923.
Oh, I
Oh,
guess.
that key.
Oh, yeah.
Winkler's lecture.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to get into
Yeah, why
that.
don't you just
That's
go
why I
ahead and
bought
get into
it, so
that?
we can actually
Oh,
kind of
That's
see.
why Mike showed up, so go for it.
I gotcha.
That and his award.
Yeah. Learn,
All right, so do we want to send the table
got
over
that
to
already.
Steve now?
Yeah.
Oh, let's send it to Steve.
All right, let me get
All right.
Steve hooked up
yeah,
here.
learn us something, Steve.
I'm gonna come sit in a comfy chair next to you, buddy.
Yeah, you don't
Keep
have
your
to
hands
Steve, you
off my
should be
legs.
able to
Okay,
share
yeah.
your
Yeah, well,
screen.
none of that.
not bend your
Okay.
Then you're gonna rotate.
This is better.
I guess I should go ahead and do it then. Start it out.
Yeah, I think
Go for
you're good to go.
Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, great, gonna do it. And I hope I don't put anybody to sleep. I'm gonna talk about Horace G. Martin.
Does anybody need coffee first?
Yeah, does anybody want to get some coffee for this? I got a half hour, 40
Want
minutes or
coffee?
so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have a coffee.
Okay. I'm gonna unshare here for a little while then.
All right. We don't want anybody falling asleep.
Yeah,
Sleep are not allowed.
yeah, or otherwise we'll have to supply some no-dos or something.
Steve, are those all keyers behind you on that shelf?
They are indeed. Yeah, that is my collection right there. 40 bugs and keys, mostly bugs. And that's going from 1905 to 2021, up from a Horace G. Martin 1905
Yeah.
to a Bengali Intrepid 2021 Bengali.
That's a lot of keyers.
Make sure that the Zoom people see what they're missing by not being here in person.
Yeah, we killed it on the camera.
So we got lots of health food here,
Lots of help.
brought in by, who brought this?
Mike.
Mike.
Mike,
What a
again,
guy.
Mike.
Since John volunteered his house, I'm cooking every.
I'll send the DoorDash driver over.
So it's banana bread with grape nuts, and it's a Stanley Tucci.
And we even have more selection here.
And then
Okay.
the other one is a very rare recipe from Kellogg's. It's called Rice Krispie Squares.
Oh boy, Rob's
So
got a beauty there.
from blue bloods to blue collar.
Rob is
That's
showing off his bug.
That's the one from about 1910 that's pretty close in serial numbers to yours.
So let's see, Phil wanted coffee?
Beautiful. Just love that nickel plating, Rob.
Well, it's kind of pitted, but that's about all you're going to get from that era.
Yeah.
It's got
Yeah.
some issues. But what's interesting is that dot contact.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those didn't survive, apparently.
Right. And it's nice when you have a good contact on it, because if the contacts are good on those bugs, they work just like a brand new one.
Look at that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The contacts are really good on this bug. I don't
Boy,
think
they
it
are.
ever saw much use.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, a good friend of mine gave that to me, and actually, I had given him a ride up to the
Chris, where are you going?
state sale,
Mhm.
and I told him I had enough bugs, and if he found any, he could have them. So, so guess what he ended up with? He ended up with that one, and he ended up with a 1914 chrome or a 1914 nickel-plated blue racer. too.
Wow. Those
And I
are
said-
pretty.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, I will never do that again.
Oh gosh.
So years later, he ended up giving me the Horace Martin. So, and the last patent date that I have on mine is dated 07.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have the 1912 patent on this one, like I do on the one from right around World War
This is a small size.
World War One.
What does the engineer know?
Where did they put the number on those? Is that on the back of it, where the?
Let me see if I can show you here.
Yeah.
Find some of that health food.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. For that matter, pass it around.
I don't know if you can see it here or
Regular
not.
coffee, Chris?
Yeah,
Okay, hold on.
regular.
Not.
You're the little
Yeah,
one.
hang on a second. Let me-
I think it's made so you put a bunch of cream in there.
No cream. No cream.
It's right
Oh,
there
yeah.
on the bottom of the damper. See,
Yeah.
right
Oh
across.
boy, that's.
Mike, you're a fine cook.
Shucks, thanks.
Are these gluten-free?
Yeah, but
Like-
this one it's in good shape. So
Boy, it is. It's like 20,000 number, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, 21, I think.
They're regular,
You can't have
the regular Rice Krispies.
20,173.
Neat, neat. Oh, that's pretty.
The coffee, too.
Marshmallows are coated.
You're fine on it.
Wheat flour.
Work at it.
I've got a 1912.
Oh, yeah.
Can't guarantee their rice.
Oh, wow, that's a great bug. An air cooler or something.
I think this is a 1912, but it's got the later plate on it. So this one's a 59,000 number on this nickel plated.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a couple too that were old railroad bugs are really bad shape from right about that time period.
Right.
So,
This one's got a little soot on it, so it had been in a station probably, and I wouldn't dare clean it off. That's gives it a lot of character. A little soot on it. Yeah.
Sorry.
Straight fire.
That's a bug.
Yeah.
That's a bug. Okay.
This is what bugs me about
Yeah,
this.
I believe
Oh,
it.
yeah. Every once in a while I get mad at it, put it away and get up.
so that is my double lever.
Yeah.
Oh boy, love that one too.
Yeah, I about had a heart attack when I found this one in the antique store up in Idaho.
Amazing.
Just,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you have some decaf.
it's seen a little bit of use, but it's in pretty good shape. It dates from about 1923.
Right, right.
So, but it's in pretty good shape. So,
Boy, it is. It is. That
And,
nickel looks so nice. Yeah.
yeah, you know, and that's the way I found it. I haven't restored it or done anything to it.
Yeah. Kind
That's
of
the way
nice
I
just
found
to,
it.
yeah, just nice to leave it the way it is.
Yeah. Well, it works. So,
Yeah. That's the important thing.
everybody on the bug roundup wants a picture of it. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's an interesting recipe. It has,
I'm gonna
grape nuts.
I'm gonna mute myself here. I've got a net here
Ah.
at 8 o'clock, and I'll be right back.
Sounds good.
A hot cup of coffee. This is the best coffee
Anybody else for coffee?
I've ever smelled before.
It smells
I
good.
need to
That
sleep
smells
tonight.
really good.
Alright, we
got
got
decaf.
Brandon.
Oh, there's decaf. I'll have it.
You want a
Yeah,
decaf?
sure, that'd be
Okay.
great.
Oh my God, this is so good. This bread. I never had grape nuts in the banana bread before.
Yeah, I've never seen a recipe like
Adds
that.
a
That's really
little
good.
crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Make up for the nut.
Oh wait, we have two people entered the room waiting. Hold on. View.
Ah.
And we need to let them in, right?
Right.
Absolutely. What are their call signs and names?
Chris, NW6V.
Wait a minute.
Oh, I gotta hold this bug up.
NW6 Bravo,
Victor.
Victor.
Victor, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
There's the 23.
I don't know if we can have two Chris's. I don't know.
Boy, yes.
We might have to vote on that.
That's got a pretty nice nickel plate on it,
Yes, it does.
and the black lacquer and everything.
Yeah, yeah. The
Alright.
Japan base. Oh, that looks nice.
Yep. From the estate of K6VHP, Shally.
Is there another one coming?
Oh, I caught up on it.
No,
Yep.
Yeah.
Just Chris?
Chris. Yep.
Welcome, Chris.
There you go.
Let's see, Steve, let's see.
Gee, the two Oregon guys on here.
Steve, you could start whenever you're ready.
Oh, great. Okay, I'm going to do it. Hello, Chris. I don't see you yet on my panes here, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. And I'm going to go ahead and start. And with the share right there, and I will go to the HGM PowerPoint
I didn't used to be.
thing here. And
Things I used to do. Well,
this is the Horace G. Martin story, and I'm kind of gleaned this information from numerous books. You know, the Bill Hawley's Vibraplex book that I've got, and Tom French's books, internet sources, and stuff like that. And what I'm going to talk about, that the Vibraplex company is actually, you know, of course, it's 100 years old or whatever, 115 years old now. And Horace Martin was actually only with them up till 1920. So I'm basically going to cover his experiences in inventing it and his experiences as probably the premier telegraph operator in the country. And he was at a very interesting time when he was putting all this together. So anyway, I will begin here, and let's see here. There we go. Picture of Horace. And Horace Greeley Martin was born in 1873 in Georgia, and he was named after Horace Greeley, the founder and editor of the New York Tribune. Greeley was popular in Georgia as a promoter of the South's Reconstruction after the Civil War. Horace G. Martin's career as a telegrapher heavily favored the press service, and that's where he worked most of his career as a telegrapher. Martin, as a youth, spent his time at the train depot in Daresville, Georgia, where he learned telegraphy. He was hired as an extra operator when he was only 9 years old and was recognized between the ages of 10 to 14 as having excellent penmanship and typewriting abilities. He was hired as a telegrapher for the Associated Press in Atlanta, and then he left the AP to work for Western Union in Atlanta and advanced to the position of chief operator for the Atlanta office. He married to Miss Gina Stephens as a teenager. Gina's father had similar experience as a telegrapher with the Western and Atlantic Railroad, and later he became superintendent of Western Union's Southern operations. In 1893, Horace and Gina became the parents of Horace G. Martin Jr., the first of their 9 children. Yeah. Martin gained more and more experience as a telegrapher, and better opportunities came his way. He became possibly the best telegrapher in the nation, able to move high volumes of copy in a short time. He went back to the AP in Memphis, working their important Memphis to New Orleans wire. He became known by his personal sign, HM, and he developed a reputation as being one of the best senders ever in the press service. This was all with a hand key. He was also ambidextrous and had a talent as a telegrapher for doing totally different tasks simultaneously, such as copying up to 50 words per minute while pouring and drinking coffee, among other things. During the radio coffee, but no, that wasn't invented yet. During the 1890s in New York City, the Associated Press and the United Press were both headquartered in the Western Union building in New York City. Martin's next move was to the United Press. He developed numerous relationships with telegraphers, including Walter Phillips, who later invented the Phillips Code, among other things. And in 1897, UP was losing most of their major contracts to the AP, which resulted in the United Press filing for bankruptcy and laying everyone off, including Horace G. Martin rejoined Western Union and continued work as probably the nation's foremost telegrapher. This was in the late 1890s, and so that's about what Western Union looked like in New York City in the 1890s. And let's see here. Telegraphy was a big thing back then, you know, and they held, and this is, by the way, taken this information here. I'm kind of following the outline of the Vibraplex history of Horace G. Martin, because they seem to have the best descriptions of this and that. They held the Grand National Telegraph Tournament in 1898, and as they say, it's a place in Martin's life that's a story in itself. Telegraphers in the 19th century would occasionally compete against each other in telegraph tournaments, demonstrating their abilities as fast senders and accurate receivers. And an electrical exposition was to take place in New York City in May of 1898 under the auspices of the New York Electrical Society, and was determined that May 14th was to be set aside during the exposition for a telegraph tournament. The size of this tournament was to overshadow anything else previously attempted, and it was appropriately named the Grand National Telegraph Tournament. And no better place could have been selected for such a competition than Madison Square Garden, New York City. Cash prizes were to be awarded to the first and second place winners in 3 categories for both sending and receiving: a message class, a code class, message class and a code class. Had a distinguished list of judges to officiate the tournament. J.H. Bunnell was there. Thomas Edison, former telegrapher himself, donated equipment and stuff. The main event in the tournament was the championship class competition. And 6 senders would send 5 minutes of text each, appropriately from the Bible. And the book of judges, and a panel of judges would award prizes to the fastest 2 telegraphers with the least number of errors. And this was a big hall, and they had large megaphones set up, and they were recording it on graphophones, and it was quite impressive to see. I wish I could have gotten some pictures of it, but none available. There was a main stage set up, a maze of typewriters and resonators fitted with sounders for each position, and everything was recorded so the judges could play back things on a phonograph for judging things and so forth. Western Electric, Bunnell was also helping out. It's a pretty big event. The garden was filled to standing room capacity that Saturday night for the start of the championship class competition. And anyone who was anybody in the telegraph business, along with every off-duty telegrapher in the New York metro area, was said to be in attendance. They did the sending. Horace Martin, by the way, only signed up for the receiving part of this contest. He didn't sign up for the sending, though he could have probably won that one. But Horace Martin handed in when the sending was over and everything. He handed in 7 sheets of typewritten copy to the judges. The results of senders ranged from 43 words per minute with 10 errors to 50.8 words per minute with 1 error. Martin's copy was praised by all of the judges, stated as being the cleanest and most perfect of all the copy handed in. And it was an outstanding example of fast telegraphy and typewriting ability. But there was a problem on this one for Horace Martin. He had neglected to put the sender at the top of each page. And that was considered an error. So he handed in 7 pages of copy, missing that. So it put the judges in a dilemma on this one because his copy was perfect otherwise. I think he had 1 error on the of all the copy in that. So he actually had won the contest. But and it created quite a problem in that, and they deliberated over the weekend on it. And on Monday, they announced that they charged Martin with 7 errors and awarded the first and second prizes to telegraphers who had 3 and 5 errors respectively in their copy. Wow. So it was too bad because it was, quite a deal, quite a win there. And the other winners just became footnotes in telegraph history. But Telegraph Age, the magazine, offered their unsolicited support for Martin, but they did not contest the judge's decision. But they said that, to quote, "It is safe to say there is no better telegraph operator in America than Mr. Martin," unquote. So everybody might wonder why he did not send in that contest, because he probably would have won that one too. But he, as probably many of you know, had telegrapher's paralysis. He was only 25 years old at this point and had sent nearly 20,000 words of press copy per shift, and he was losing his grip. And he was actually going through the months following the Grand National. He was starting to go through a transitional period in his life. He was now a 16-year veteran who had not reached his 25th birthday, and he just had a large family that he needed to support, and he needed the level of pay of a star telegrapher was used to, which he was getting, and he just was really having problems. That carpal tunnel syndrome was horrible with the hand keys. So what he was doing was, my page 2 here, he was starting to experiment at this point. In 1899, he began experimenting with various automatic Morse designs while while working as a telegrapher. He was still working as a telegrapher at this point. And by 1900, he had established his first shop where he was experimenting with different things that could create automatic code and to help with that carpal tunnel syndrome problem. And he tried different things, such as trying to build a electromedical shock device designed to treat telegraphers who lost their grip, and spend a fair amount of time with unsuccessfully trying to develop a Morse code typewriter, an automatic keyer type device. But that was said to be cumbersome and bulky and not very convenient to use.
Question?
Yeah.
That 50.8 words a minute, that was a hand key?
Can you believe it? I have known a guy, Bud Larson, who's he could actually send very fast, not 50.8 words per minute, but to listen to him years ago on a hand key, I couldn't believe it.
No challenge for this crowd.
Right.
Yeah, that was my specialty.
What's that?
High-speed hand key sending.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love it.
Completely dead lost art.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, after the United Press went bankrupt let's see, let me change to an exciting slide here. After United Press went bankrupt in 1897, Martin's former boss, Walter Phillips, went to work for the American Graphophone Company in New York. And by 1902, Phillips was working at the factory in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and he had come up with an invention that you see here, the auto telegraph, which actually recorded, that's basically a graphophone system there without the horn speaker. And that would take Morse code that you could send into it by hand, and it would speed it up and send it along, and then it would be recorded at the other end of the wire and then slowed down so you could copy the CW or the code on a typewriter. And there's a little sounder up to the right of the typewriter there that you copied the code there. And Martin worked with that thing, and Phillips really respected Martin's professional expertise and judgment and everything else. So he worked with Martin on this thing, and it was actually successful. They used that device, and you could get some pretty high-speed code with that thing at the time, and of course didn't create carpal tunnel syndrome. Let's see here. Yeah, in March of 1902, Martin traveled to Atlanta to act as a judge in the American Telegraphers Tournament, and he made a presentation demonstrating this Phillips automatic system and used the system to record all the senders in the tournament and demonstrate it. And it worked quite well. That was the first step in automatic code for the professional wire telegraphers. And it was during this period that Martin was heavily involved in his own experiments, which were his Martin Autoplex, and he is quoted as saying, having experimented for some time on automatic transmitters, having the occasion to observe the very interesting achievements of other workers in the automatic field, I decided there was a demand for a small, simple, and portable sending device, which, while being automatic or nearly so, would, as nearly possible, retain the merits, but not the demerits of the old Morse key. And of course, the demerits Martin was referring to in that historic quote were the thousands of vertical keystrokes a telegrapher was subject to that frequently caused telegrapher's paralysis. And the merits became the essence of Martin's key design philosophy and the template for all semi-automatic keys built in the future. And there was a thing to consider that the Morse code, not the Continental code, the Morse code used by telegraphers had two characters with extended dash durations. And the automatic devices didn't do that too well because they made a standard dash and dot length. So this this was an advantage of being able to use a semi-automatic key. So anyway, he wanted, his desire was to simply retain the traditional control that a telegrapher had when using a standard Morse code key. He wanted to ensure the sending telegrapher kept his ability to, quote, emphasize any character at will, giving him the ability to adjust to fluctuating line conditions, adapt instantly to the receiving telegrapher's abilities, and to send different ways to multiple offers on the circuit. And in Horace G. Martin's own words, quote, in practice, good Morse senders emphasize their sending as a person does his words in talking. The condition of the wire necessitates the emphasis of certain letters or portions of letters at times, the operator relying upon the, quote, feel of the wire at the instant that a letter or portion of a letter is to be formed, and also on the ability of the receiver. This emphasis is accomplished almost entirely by lengthening or shortening the dashes and spaces, the speed of the dots remaining constant. It is an important feature of my present invention that this perfect control of the instrument and power to emphasize his sending is retained by the operator, while at the same time any number of dots may be produced by a single nerve exertion. As there are all classes of operators, it has been found that better time can be made by sending in one way to one operator and in another way to others. The different styles of sending not depending so much upon the variation of the speed of sending as a whole, as upon variations of certain impulses in making dashes, and also the ability to vary the speed of words. These and kindred features have been the stronghold of the Morse key and the cause of practical failure of all automatic transmitters heretofore devised, unquote. So
Here,
he
here.
was calling that one right.
Didn't like them way back then either.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Fatigue, boredom, or whatever you want to call it. It was the bug, or the semi-automatic key has its advantages. And these basic principles of Morse operation stated by HGM were incorporated into his 1902 invention, the Martin Autoplex. And that model was produced for several years. And he considered his invention auto, or nearly so, because it produced the dots automatically with the small magnets there, and the duration of the spaces and the dashes and spaces were left up to the operator. And it was a very good working little instrument. It was had some disadvantages though, and the problem were it required good dry cells, 1 to 2 dry cells, and the design was simple, and its operation can be the design was simple, but the problem of getting widespread use on this Autoplex was that all these different telegraph companies had different impedances, so to speak, for their circuits. So you couldn't just take this to Western Union and use the same one over at AP or anything else. They were all different. The different telegraph companies loved it. They had what they called bonus men at that time, and they were the ones mainly using it in the beginning. The bonus men were their hotshot operators. Horace Martin would have been a bonus man. They were capable of sending large numbers of messages in the shortest period of time. They were paid a premium for their work too, and everything. And they liked this Autoplex. They set them up and adjusted them. They handled them very nicely, and they could work an entire shift and not be subject to the fatigue and strain of the standard Morse key. And as I said, the problem was that they weren't compatible with all the different companies. So Horace got busy, and he'd been working on a totally mechanical device, and this was actually for his second patent, and this was the bug as we know it today. That's his first ad for his invention of the what is basically now the original, and that appeared in June 1905 in the Commercial Telegrapher's Journal. And he had some challenges with it. The pendulum, his first model of the bug there, the pendulum wasn't as smooth as it came down to with his invention that we see right here. It wasn't quite smooth on the pendulum part of it, and he perfected that with a design that incorporated the lever, mainspring, and pendulum all in one piece. In this design, when the operator moves the key lever to the right, it immediately strikes a stop, causing the spring-mounted pendulum to go into vibration. After a desired number of dots are produced via the contact spring on the pendulum, the operator releases the key and the lever returns to its stop. And the pendulum is arrested by a damper. And this patent for this one was actually filed in April 1906, and it is referred to as the original design. And there was the history of Vibraplex is riddled with litigation and infringements and everything else. And there was some actual ongoing debate surrounding the actual introduction date of Martin's Vibraplex, because there was another company working on one.
Steve,
oh yeah,
I have a quick question.
Sure.
I can't read it, but what's the price in that advertisement?
Oh, unfortunately, I don't think. Let's try that again. I can't quite make that out either. I took that with my phone camera, but it was, and that's a good question. That price was probably around $10.
That was a lot of money.
Yeah, which was a lot of money then. That was like a cell phone. That was probably whatever, $1,000 or whatever equivalent. All made by hand at that time. They got into price wars later on those to get those things going, and the price on that eventually went down to $5, where he probably wasn't making any money on it at that time for the labor and everything involved. But they went into price wars when the Bug came out, and there were competing magnetic semi-automatic keys and that. So that's
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, the price on that is $12.
There you go, $12. You can. Oh yeah, yeah, $12. Okay, that sounds right.
Yeah, I've got it out of the Holly book. So.
Oh, very, very good, very good. That's a great book.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, love it. When he invented this thing, it really worked. He got it nailed right the first time, and I was going to mention that the debate surrounding, let's see, the original patent of that thing. There was let's see, try it again if I can find where my notes are on this. I believe it was the coffee company in that, but they were claiming that they had written or had filed their patent earlier, and but when that got litigated, Martin was fine on his. There was no patent infringement, right? So he was good on that. But there was because there was another competing pendulum bug competitor at that time, but that one didn't stop Horace Martin from getting this one produced, and he took the let's see, the Bug was taken in 1906 to formal evaluations on Morse transmitters, and they compared several that were being manufactured at that time, mechanical and magnetic versions. Autodot, a Macograph number 4, and derived from the coffee patent. Martin's Autoplex was there, and Vibraplex, and a Yetman Morse typewriter transmitter. And the evaluations by the Postal Telegraph Company were all really impressed with the semi-automatic keys. But their biggest complaint was reliable signals. Operators are having a hard time adjusting them properly and getting them set up. Once they're set up, it seemed to work fine. So that's when Horace G. Martin went into his Elmering mode, and he really went around the country for the desire to have a vibraplex in every telegraph office. And so he helped set up the bugs in the office and worked with the operators to make that transition from the straight key to the bug. And he was known to give away many vibroplexes in order to get them introduced. And these price wars, yeah, that's right. The Martin Vibroplex in 1906 was being sold for $12. The Auto Dot for $10.75, and the Macograph number 3 for $10. And by midsummer, Martin lowered his price to $7.50, and Macograph countered by lowering their price on all their models to $7.50, including their newest number 4. And at that time, Martin was most tired of dealing with the Macograph company and lowered the price on his Vibroplex even further to $5. So there were price wars initially on these things, but they got out there, and it was saying also in this Vibroplex little history on HGM that throughout his career, Martin was never preoccupied with making a profit, but rather headstrong in achieving a goal. And he was determined in 1906 to place a Vibroplex in every telegraph office in the U.S. And it's a goal that he achieved eventually, because his became the standard. And to truly to use a 1905 Vibroplex, and I'll have one I'll show you at the end here, and I open back the camera up, but on my 1905 number 1322, I think it is, it works just like an original today. He totally nailed it the first time there. It's smooth and just really, really works good. This is the 1905 right here. This is off Randy Cole's Vibroplex site, and that's a particularly beautiful one, nickel plated, as you can see. And it looks just about everything that an original has today. You know, it's just a work of art in my book. The original year, the 1905 models have a 4-line plate, and that patent, what's that? Oh, whoops! Thought there was something there. Yeah, that's showing a 1904 patent. So that may be the Autoplex patent, because I think the bug patent actually came in 1906, I believe. Anyway, that was Horace Martin. He was really the developer of the bug, and he was not so much the promoter, other than wanting to get them out there and Elmering, helping people to use them and everything else. And he was very, very happy the way that invention worked out well. But about and their manufacturing company was the UEM, United something Manufacturing Company, and that was set up, and they had quite a production lines going and everything there in the heart of New York City. And through the 20s, when Horace Martin left Vibroplex in 1920, I believe it was, they made several interesting designs of keys. There's the Vibroplex vertical wire chief. I think that's a pretty rare one. I think I read where that thing, they've only made there's only about 3 or 4 of them left or something like that. But I don't know how many they built. They made the Vibroplex midget, which little bug there to fit on the table. Beautiful little thing. And that's about, I think, I can't quite read that, 1918, 1920, something like that. Here, Vibroplex was an American triumph. Here's a Martin ad from 1911, and out there promoting it. Albright, I think, was with them at that point, so he was a good advertiser too. And Albright, by the way, was a typewriter. It had a typewriter business in New York City going back to 1890. So sometimes if you hear that Vibroplex has been around since 1890, it's with Albright as that typewriter salesman. So he was he ran the company after or took over the company after Martin left in 1920, and did everything after that. they one of the things that Albright was doing at that time was warning to the infringers of the Martin Vibraplex. They were enforcing their patents. And now, so you'll see the ATOS bugs, or however they're pronounced, and you'll see all these knockoffs where they'll have a plate that's this bug is licensed, or this key is licensed by Horace G. Martin Company with no guarantees or whatever it is. But so they were actually selling licenses for the knockoffs. So and they went to court, and they warning to the infringers of the Martin Vibraplex. So a pretty interesting time. Whoops, let's try this here. I was going to mention, this is in my collection. This is just off of Vibraplex here for a second. This is a 1927 Electro Bug. I say Don Wallace W6AM. This was like Martin's original invention with the electronic automatic dots with a standard bug. And this is the key, not the exact key, but the model of key that Don Wallace used in San Diego in the 1928 convention speed contest to win the sending contest. So he used an electro bug just like this. Electro bug, they were originally made in Fresno before they moved to San Francisco, or moved to San Francisco in 1928, I think. So they made an Electro Bug Junior also, and that's without the automatic magnetic device there. But I just thought I'd bring that one out and show that they did actually use a autoplex type design after that. The bug works both ways. It works great with just dots, the pendulum dots, or the magnetic device there. This is what I was showing earlier. That's my collection of keys above my operating position. I've just redone my shack here. I've got, I'd show more of my shack in the pictures, but I just put new shelving on 55 feet of console space. And so everything's kind of half torn up, but this is above my one operating space behind me here. And it holds 40 bugs, or actually about, I guess probably 60 on the top there and everything. But and here's a few that I use. Vibraplex, of course, makes the iambic paddle, which I think is a nice paddle. It's a presentation paddle right there next to a presentation bug. I've got about 5 presentations, and I do love the presentation. It's a great bug. This is the Begali Intrepid there, number 300, got last year, and it's also a joy to use and everything. But anyway, I'm gonna kill this. Let me see here. I'm gonna stop sharing here and go back to my view, to the gallery view like this. I just wanted to show you something here. This is my my 1905 Horace G. Martin, which I do love this bug a lot. And it's right here. It's really in nice shape. I don't think this saw bad use or anything. It was in its original case, and that's how I got it. And it's got the 4-line nameplate on it. I keep it under a little glass thing like this. That's the one bug I keep on a different shelf, and sort of a display thing, and I bring it out for the bug roundup and other times. But it really works nice, and it is all original. It's an original bug, and it's all original. And this is right here. This is probably one similar to the sounder Horace G. Martin would have used back in the late 1890s. It's a Western Union. This is actually a Bunnell sounder, and that's what they would have used. So that's what those things look like. But this is a current model, fairly, I guess you could say it's a current model. This is a 2015 presentation, Knoxville presentation, and works quite nice. It doesn't have the what they call the Lahif mainspring on it. If you look at a right up here, the older before 1979 or 1980, so it would have 2 little screws here where you could actually adjust the mainspring out, and you could adjust the speed. And and just a real smooth operation. If you want to slow that bug down a lot and operate a lot of slow speed and everything, it worked very nice for that. Maybe I can show you that real quickly here.
Hey, Steve, a question.
Oh yeah.
On that bug, what's that? What appears like a red LED light bulb? What is that?
Oh, very good question. That's actually their jewel movements on this. So that's just simply a decorative cap. It does. It looks like an LED light. That's a great idea. I may have to do that someday. Put an LED in there. But anyway, this bug here, anytime you see one of those red caps on that, it actually has jewel movements, they call them, where they're not just metal to metal on the post, center post there, and it's actually riding on jeweled movements, and so it's actually the movement mechanism for it, and it does really help at higher speeds make it a little bit smoother to have those jeweled movements. You can really notice it when you're flying along 40 words a minute. It just it works quite nice. And this, let's see here.
Too much, you can crack them.
This is just right here.
It is a stone.
Yeah, there's those little screws.
It's stone.
Quartz or something?
I think it was supposed to be sapphire.
Oh, yeah, I think
Sapphire.
Oh, there was one other thing, and if you can give me the hook any time here, but I may just show you one other thing. There was a couple interesting things. How are we doing for time, John? Because I think I just got a few more.
No problem. Keep talking.
Okay, great. We'll do. I'm going to share screen once again. There was a couple more slides that I had that that I didn't.
Out if necessary, but no problem yet.
Okay, right. Well, if I can find these things,
Can't we mute him?
let's see what.
That's too modern.
Let's see. Oh yeah, this is.
It is.
This was in my collection here. This is my cobalt blue racer, number 4. So this was one of the bugs that Martin designed from the company, was manufactured in the 20s. This is not the first year. It was a number 4, 1914 first year, but that's my cobalt blue. That's original blue racer, and beautiful bug to run. And that one actually, those older blue racers actually can slow them down pretty nicely to 20 words a minute or so. And
4 years older than that one there, but that's Japan.
This is a 23.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the Horace G. Martin Jr. I wanted to show you guys this slide here because there's a few guys in here that run juniors.
They call it black and gold.
I see.
And this is on a 3-inch base instead of the 3.5-inch standard base. It's only a 1/2-inch base difference, but it was named after his firstborn son, Horace G. Martin Jr.
Right?
That one?
Yeah, they look similar.
Yeah. This is just blue.
Yeah.
And that's black.
It's got the same pinstripe.
It's the same key. It's the number 4.
Yeah.
Which is the original name for the blue racer.
Right. And this is, I knew Rob would love this one. Rob loves his junior. Chris has a junior. So it was named after Horace G. Martin Jr., guys.
Yeah, there you go. That's why it's such a good bug.
Yeah, let's see here. Here's another one that's kind of unique. I have in my collection. This is a 1922 blue racer. This is also on a 3-inch wide base. Now, this is a wide base blue racer, not a narrow base bug. The standard blue racer, number 4, was 2.5 inches in width, but this one is 3 inches in width. Again, just a 1/2-inch difference, but it just makes a beautiful looking bug, and it works nice. It really, really works nice, but it has a low look to it because it's lower than an original. And so that I wanted to show you those. If you have a 22 blue racer, wide base, and a 21-inch or 1921 junior 3-inch base, they are the same width. They look pretty nice together in that. So I love these unique bugs like that. When I got this blue racer, oh, by the way, they also made the blue. I don't know why Vibraplex did this either. They also made this bug on special order on a 3.5-inch standard base. an original base, you know. So you could actually get this bug on an even wider base, but it would probably look pretty neat too. I've seen pictures of them, and so that's kind of a unique bug, though, to see a wide blue racer like that. But you know, the one thing that I just found out a while ago from the bug group, I did all this research on Horace G, and I have a lot of respect for him. And guy, when I first started using a bug at 11 years old, you know, back in 1963, I had no idea that those bugs weren't really that old. And I did all this research on Horace G. Martin, and I wondered, when did he die? You know, did he live to be 100, 90? And I just found out on the bug group. I put that question out on the bug group earlier because I'd asked Scott at Vibraplex, and he didn't know either, W4PA. And but Horace G. Martin actually made an attempt to get back into the bug business, some of you may know, with the Martin flash keys in the late 30s, I think 38, 39. And Albright didn't want anything to do with that. So there was litigation again, and the Martins were forced, his sons and apparently Horace G, were forced to just sell their interest over to Bunnell, I think it was. And that's why you see those Bunnell lightning bugs, you know, World War II lightning bugs and all that kind of stuff and everything. But I wondered when Horace G. Martin died. Well, he did die in 1939, right after that litigation. And he died at age 66. So, but he left just an incredible invention for us to use, because I think these things are violins. I've always loved these bugs. My first bug was a chrome original, and an 11-year-old kid getting a chrome original, boy, I couldn't believe it. A guy gave it to me. Ham in Medford, Oregon gave it to me. And that was pretty nice of him I think he knew I was enthusiastic about him. So, but I couldn't have afforded one of those then, but sure glad he did, because I've enjoyed them. I've enjoyed them. So, but anyway, that's the Horace G. Martin story. I'm gonna kill my my sharing here. Stop sharing. There we go, and go back to gallery view. There we go. Yeah. And anybody got any good thoughts on bugs?
Well, first off, nice job, Steve. Thank you for that story. I'm kind of familiar with the story as well, and you did a really good job telling it and nailed it.
Well,
so
thank you very much, Chris, and nice to meet you in person. You were my nomination to the bug group. I appreciate that. Thank you too.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
we're neighbors. We could probably throw rocks at each other, and we've never met.
That's right.
COVID
That's right.
and all that. So
yeah. Well, I'll just real quick. I'm just taking the camera off the top of here just to show the mess. This is my desktop at my desk where I sit. This is Operation Central here. These are just the desktop keys. A couple of Vibraplex lightning bugs and a Frattini straight key and a little Chinese straight key. And these are the daily drivers that I keep. But I've got keys on all the shelves around here, but not as many as you. You've got me beat in terms of quality and having them laid out beautifully. Oh, thanks. I'm slowing up on getting them, but and that's a nickel-plated Lightning from the 30s too, isn't it? That you restored. Actually, there's two of them here. I'll roll this over, and hopefully they can be seen. It's hard to aim and do that. Oh, there we go. Okay, this one is this is a 33 Lightning Bug Deluxe, which is untouched by human hands, never been even cleaned after I bought it. It's such a beautiful device. And this is a 35 Deluxe that was an absolute rusted out hulk when I found it. It was just awful. And I very lovingly had it restored and put back together so that it's this gorgeous nickel-plated, not chrome, beauty over here. And this is my 27 word a minute bug, and this is the one that I keep up more QRQ, up about 35 words a minute as the thing. And of course the straight keys are for anything under 25. You go to the straight key. The nickel-plated bugs are so pretty. I love those things. I've got a 37 over on the shelf there, and they do have a look that, I mean, the chrome ones are pretty, but that nickel sure is nice looking. There's like a yellow gleam to the nickel
That's just so beautiful. It's
Right,
really,
right. And Rob is showing on his camera right now. That's a rare one. That's a green lightning
ah,
bug. Oh, I love
Yeah,
that, Rob.
yeah,
indeed.
from about
Neat.
1930. I found it at a ham swap in a shoebox in pieces, and I took a chance for $15.
I think you came out all right.
Boy,
Yep, all I did is clean it up and put it back together and haven't touched it since. So
it's pretty. It's pretty. It's
thank
wow.
you.
Yeah, those are as rare as hen's teeth. You don't see many green ones.
No,
No, I've never seen one in person.
Yeah, yeah.
We had another bug show up on the bug group. You may have seen it, Steve. Just showed up today. I had seen on eBay a Bunnell bug for
Right.
sale, and I'd
Yep.
heard about them, but I had never seen one. And when one showed up on eBay, I was like, "Oh my, look at that!" And they're very beautiful to look at. But according to reports that we got from other guys back, they are very bad to use, which is
Yeah.
part of the reason why they were such a complete flop in the marketplace.
That's right. That's right. They sure were pretty though. That's a prototype on eBay right now. And then the gold bug had the production model had more ornamentation and stuff. And interesting. I've never used one either. Never seen one in
Yeah,
person.
it had a big label on it too, and
Right.
when they were shined up, they were really pretty.
Yeah.
And I tried to get one from a PARG member for many years, but he passed away, and all of his stuff was put in the truck and taken back to Nebraska. So,
Somewhere.
oh well.
It's interesting. I'd mentioned that. In fact, you might have seen my response on the bug group thing there when you posted your original thing, Chris. But Bunnell, as the Vibraplex patents were running out in around 27, 28, Bunnell brought that thing out, and Albright Vibraplex took Bunnell to court, claiming that bug had some of the design features of the Model 10 or the Model X.
Right.
Model
I
X,
heard that.
yeah. And I went to court, and they lost that one. They were able to produce that bug there and also Vibraplex took Bunnell to court the following year, 1928, that they wanted to keep the word bug. That everything before 1928 had been it was a bug, was a Vibraplex. Nobody else used that word, but Bunnell could use it after that. They ruled. The court ruled. So it'd be kind of fun to have that Bunnell though, because probably not many of them.
I have a hunch the price on that is going to go a little bit above what it's currently being listed at. So
that's right.
I don't hold out any hope that that's going to end up on the shelf here anytime soon. I've got other toys that I need to take care of.
That's first. Right. Yeah, I think it was $50 earlier when I saw that Bunnell earlier. So yeah, it'll go higher than that, I bet.
Yeah, add zeros.
Yes. Right. But it's and looking forward to the bug roundup coming up here. That's one of the reasons I wanted to give this little Horace Martin thing, that most of us will use Vibraplexes on that. And boy, that really something, and I had no idea about Horace G. Martin, all these different things, that he was really a supreme telegrapher and everything. And I'd heard about the carpal tunnel syndrome, but I didn't know that he was probably one of the best in the country.
Yeah, I've done a ton of research into that. In fact, I'm writing a book, which hopefully I'll have done by the end of the summer, that involves the history of things, plus a whole new system of how to learn how to use the straight key, developed and put together. But in studying through the history of the straight key, his name and a couple of other people who participated in those old contests came up and kept coming up. And the question that bugged me, to use the word, was that I had been using the straight key all my life.
That was good.
Anyway.
It's a rough crowd.
Oh, no, you guys are easy. But anyway, the thing that had always gotten to me was that I was always a very fast and very good straight key operator. In fact, a few years back, I won the last straight key sending contest that was held in the United States.
Interesting.
At about plain text equivalent about 30 word a minute.
Wow.
On
Yeah,
straight
that's cooking.
Considerably shorter than 50.
And the thing was, the question that got me was, well, why didn't I get carpal tunnel syndrome? Why didn't I have a problem? So not everybody who did it had the problem. And so for me, that was the research approach on it. I was trying to say, well, why not? What was I doing that was different? Was it just genetics and luck, or was there something in technique? And I think I found some things in technique that nobody had ever paid attention to before that were based upon just the way I was taught it when I was a kid. You and I have in common that we both got started really early. I got my ticket when I was 11.
Great.
When I was a little kid.
Yeah, neat. And plus the fact that they were doing so much of it. Martin had been sending since he was 14, well, I think 9 years old maybe, or something like that, up till 25. So they were handling that thing every day, all day maybe, or something like that, or most of his shift was sending. So, and that increased it. But maybe if it hadn't been.
The volumes, the way I look at it is that the human operator was the fuse in the whole system of the telegraph, and it had been really since the very beginning, since its inception. The weak point and the point that everybody kept trying to get rid of was the operators. We were always viewed as a problem that had to be solved, when in fact it was our brains were the only thing that made it work, because we made the telegraph smart. Our brains plus a wire and a key made a smart machine, as opposed to just something that was mechanical, and the mechanical devices have only just caught up with what we were able to do with our heads. So anyway, it's really interesting, and it was just great to hear the story of Horace put up there, and he was a first-rate keyer. Those speeds the guys were talking about, the 50 word a minute, the way it works out, the actual world record, I believe, on in American Morse was at something like 51.8 or something, and the absolute world record on sending continental Morse is 35 words per minute. The reason for the differences are accounted for by the differences between the two codes. The American Morse and the continental Morse are different in their structure, and American Morse is a little bit faster to send. Plus the way words were counted, and what counted as a word and what didn't. The differences work out to where I saw a mathematical analysis once where someone showed that the world record for American Morse, the 50 and 35 were very, very close to the same.
Interesting.
And all I can tell you is you can in fact hurt yourself sending 30 word a minute on a straight key. I really understand how you can do that.
I can't imagine it, because I've seen, like I said, Bud Larson used to send really fast on a hand key, and I couldn't believe it. It's something to see.
Well, I'm actually hoping that the little book that I'm doing has some parts in it about how to do that, because I had to sort of invent and figure out how to do it. When I decided I wanted to do it, there was nothing written. Nobody ever wrote it down.
I'll be darned.
I think that what had happened was back in the day, in Horace Martin's day, you saw it so commonly in the high-level offices that it wasn't the sort of thing you would ever teach somebody, because it's just, oh, do that, and people did it. But then once the vibraplex was invented, and anybody could go that fast without having to train and put themselves in and be very rigorous, and work out every day and all that. The bug is like, you have to be nuts to use a straight key instead of a bug, and these guys weren't nuts. So that was a runaway bestseller from the day one. It's really interesting history to see how we all changed that.
It is, and he just made that thing ergonomically perfect, the bug, because you can have a 40 word per minute rag chew on a bug for 2 hours and not be tired.
Well, I can.
Yeah.
I have to go over to your place one of these days. We have to meet. We have to talk about that Begally Intrepid you have there. I have a Begally Intrepid over here on the shelf, and it's the only bug in my collection, the only key I've ever run into in my life that I couldn't make work.
Yeah, and
I want to hit it with a hammer and
Mike, I know what you mean. Mike, MQL, he was so good at setting those big alleys up, and he talked me through setting mine up. But the one thing that I found that that I took one of the weights off mine because it gives me the speed range I want. You don't need two weights on a big alley. One comes off out through the front, and then it gives the right speed range. 20 to a little over 40 words a minute type thing. So I run mine with one weight.
Yeah, I went through that, but for me, it's more like a personal issue. I'm a Porsche guy, and it's a Ferrari, and it's not working. But I suspect there's something wrong with it. I bought this bug used third hand through a couple of people, and so when I received it, I don't know that some little delicate part on it isn't working right, because it just doesn't work the same as any of the other bugs that I've got. It's got some different principles going on.
Yeah.
It's very sensitive, and so I don't know. I like my lightning bugs. I love lightning bugs.
Me too. I love them. They're great. Yeah,
swing like crazy.
Got several of them.
Anyway,
yeah.
Bump.
Oh yeah,
Hi,
John.
everybody. I joined the club just today, by the way, just in case anybody's wondering. I had decided a long time ago that I needed to join this club, so I am now an official member of the W6SFM club. So
wonderful.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome.
Hey, Steve, I know you have a lot of McElroy bugs.
I do, Chris. Yep, I've got the this what the speed stream. Let's see.
We have that in common too. I have a bunch of McElroys here.
Love McElroys. Not me, of course. This it's like a whatever, an iron type thing, and of course the beautiful marble. That's nice condition. This is a 1940 marble.
That's a beauty.
Yeah. What's that?
That's a beauty.
It is. They're both really in great condition, and that marble looks good in front of a brand new Icom. It's they aged well.
That's really interesting, and I don't think I've ever seen one in exactly that shade before.
Yeah. I was amazed, and I buy a lot of them on eBay or QTH.com, and I've been lucky to get these at some fairly good prices, and so I've been collecting them in the last 10 years. So maybe the real peak went away on some of those. I like that 1905 Horace G. Martin. I got for $300, and that's a good price in that condition, especially with the case.
I'll give you $350.
Right. Yeah. I know what you. Yeah. And I was thrilled to get that one. So, but yeah, love the McElroys, and you've Chris is one heck of a great operator, as everybody knows, and he has a tack bug, which is a McElroy, and makes it sound like music, and got an extra weight on it now, Chris. Huh? You can slow it down a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. That's pretty.
Oh, those tack bugs, those things are crazy.
Yeah.
I think I have one of those here too, actually.
Yeah, Chris has got one. Yeah. AI6U has one.
Yeah. Oh, now that's interesting.
Yeah, my Mac is missing something.
Yeah, Ted McElroy would turn over in his grave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
He always liked you to hit him hard, but that's too hard.
Looks like a key or paddle there, huh, Rob?
Yeah, I actually talked to the guy that made that. I bought it at a swap meet, and I ended up a couple months later talking to the guy whose call was on this thing. And so I didn't say anything about it. I just said, "Oh, thanks."
I got one other one since we're doing the show and tell here. I'm going to grab this little thing down. Chris, I actually can send about 40, 45 words a minute with a hand key. How about these things?
Oh, yeah.
I've been looking for one of those.
Yeah, right. I bought this one at a swap meet, and got an old Vibraplex base here that
It's amazing what people will try. Yeah, I think everybody has invented that particular thing at one time or another. Who had that? I also wanted to put two keys side by side down low so that I could do two finger tapping I thought it was a great idea, you know, and then you turn down and say, oh yeah, somebody did that, you know, 100 years
Yeah,
ago. Somebody actually
right,
made that and gave it a try and it didn't catch on. So,
right. Yeah,
I'm,
the side by side straight keys were the first some of the first paddles, made
I want to go grab something I want to show you guys. I'll be back in a sec.
great, great.
Yeah, we got 1 minute to go. We're turning to pumpkin, but.
Oh, I know. You give us the hook when you're ready,
Oh,
everybody.
yeah, it's a long drive home.
Yeah, you got it. Oh, that's right. It's
So many people are starting to nod off here, so.
yeah. I figured that I get some no-dos and
Bunch of old guys here.
Yeah, a bunch of old guys.
I'm
But
doing
yeah,
it.
it's all interesting stuff.
I'm doing a talk for LICW at the end of the month, reprising something I've done for them before, a story about World War II and flying PBYs. And this that I'm going to, oh, somebody's displaying here, so.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I don't know if anybody can see this.
You have to get Chris back.
Yeah, there we go.
I just want to show this for a minute, just for the little show and tell. This is a Navy flameproof, which I'm sure that some of you recognize, although I can't
yeah.
read the camera with the darn. This particular one was used by my father during World War II on board a PBY, which crashed on the Greenland ice cap. And while it was crashing, he sent an SOS message with this key. And because of that, they were rescued after 16 days out on the ice cap.
Oh my goodness.
They were that was the last plane that went down on the Greenland ice cap in World War II because they were testing experimental radar on it. But this was his key, and it was the only thing he took off the ice cap with him.
Wow, how special! That is really neat. My God.
And it works too. It's a really nice, really nice key. So these have a special place in my heart.
Oh, that is special. Really neat, Chris.
That is a priceless key right
Yes,
there.
it is.
That's a priceless key.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many around like that. It's quite an interesting story.
History, yeah.
Any of you who belong to LICW may want to drop by and check the whole story on it.
I used, but it doesn't have the history of yours. I don't know what the history.
You don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, it's not often that you know where a key came from and what it's been through and the story behind it, you know. So,
Sure.
I heard that story sitting in an attic with my father telling me what had happened with it. I looked at it, I thought it looked really funny. I thought the knob on it looked goofy. And he explained to me that you could hold on to it while you were wearing gloves in a plane that was crashing.
It's my favorite straight key.
I think I'd stay on the ground.
Okay, well, thanks everybody that showed up here, and special thanks to everybody that's helping us out getting things rolling here.
And
Bob,
Steve for his presentation. Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done. That's
Yes,
very informative.
thank you, Steve, very much. Steve.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve. Nice to meet you, Steve.
Good to meet you, Chris.
Find out
Thanks.
about the low frequency band stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
That's the whole presentation itself, probably.
Thanks, Steve.
Right.
The
Yep.
antennas for that, along with the rigs.
Yeah, absolutely. I have that all prepared, but I thought you didn't want to run till 10:30 tonight on that one.
Yeah, we can say that for later.
Good for next meeting.
Keep in touch.
Why don't you wait till July?
Well,
Yeah, so then we'll be here next month.
okay. Well,
Thank
I
you.
guess that's all, folks.
That's it.
We'll hear everybody at Bug Roundup.
Yes.
Yeah, remember what's the date? Yeah.
Hey, Chris, I got a question. Are we going to be signing up for control operator of W6SFM as usual, like in the past?
Yeah, you'll be hearing from me before long.
Yeah.
Perhaps even tomorrow.
Yeah, Bob's sending out emails to all of all the members, but particularly all the past participants that have hosted W6SFM, and get everybody registered for their time slots.
Great.
Yeah, and so in fact, we were talking about that just before we started the meeting. So he's going to write to everyone that's hosted in the past and give those folks the first shot of positions. You know, a lot of people have their favorite times and days. So that'll go out this week.
I wanna do mine on Wednesday.
Very good.
Wonderful, wonderful.
All right.
Great.
All right. Well, everybody
I
have a
always heard
good,
you were
good
trouble
rest of
maker.
your nights, and we'll
Oh,
hear you on the
Chris
Bug
wants to do his
Roundup.
on Wednesday, but he's out of luck. Severely out of luck, yes.
All right.
Okay. Great seeing all you guys.
Yes,
All right.
same here. Thanks to
Good
everybody.
night, all.
Good
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye now.
okay, David, did you make a note of who showed up here on Zoom?